Okay, so it's a complex of Oedipus. Or Oedipus? I... I'm sorry, English speakers, you make the words complicated, it's not my fault, it's yours. So I'm going to call him Oedipo. Hello my beautiful basilisks and mythology in mind, you can call me Eminem, and today I present to you perhaps the most famous mythology-related concept in all psychology, the Oedipo complex. I know, you were not aware of this, you click on this video, but without knowing that. Well, without further ado, let's begin covering first the mythology part. Oedipo was the son of Laio and Jocasta. I'll talk more in depth about them in another video as Laio's myth name another complex. You just need to know that these two were the king of Thebes. Tebas, I'm gonna call it Tebas. Anyway, Laio had committed a crime, sorry, more on that on Laio's video, and because of his crime, the Oracle of Delphi told him that if he had a son, he would kill him and he would also blow his wife. He had a son though, he could keep him in his pants, priorities. When the child was born, Laio pinned his feet together and he abandoned him in Mount Citeron, thinking that no one would adopt a child within your feet. But even though this is pretty good reasoning, for context, in ancient Greece, when people gave children for adoption, they left them in amphoras in the street, not in the middle of a mountain. But nobody would take in your child, as this was basically seen as a menace. Anyway, a random shepherd took him and he gave the baby to Polybo, king of Corinth. His wife, Peribea or Merope, depending on the author, raised him, as she couldn't have children of her own. They named him Oedipo, which may mean swollen feet. Just another day of traumatizing your kids, I guess. Why didn't just Laio kill him, you may ask yourself. Something, impiety and stuff, blah blah blah, and the abortionist was in another polis at that time. And yes, ancient Greek people did abortions. Oedipo grew and he started suspecting that his parents were not his biological ones. So he went to the Oracle of Delphi and they told him that he would kill his father and have intercourse with his mother. Distressed by this, he decided not to go back to Corinth just in case. I mean, it was easier asking than that going all this fucking way, either by walking or by trireme. Anyhow, he decided to go to Thebes. Maybe because it was the nearest polis, maybe because of plot convenience. In the way, he crossed paths with Laio, and they obviously didn't recognize each other. Laio's servant told Oedipo to move his ass out of the way, and because he refused, the servant killed one of his horses. Pretty pissed, he killed the servant and also his father, and fuck both of them, honestly. He finally arrived on Thebes, and there was a sphinx there that didn't let anyone in or out. She was sent by Hera because of Laio's very bad actions. The sphinx had the face of a beautiful woman, the chest, the legs, and the tail of a lion, and also the wings of a bird of prey. And let's be honest, this is one of the classical anthro-furry monsters that people that are not openly furries venerate in public because it's popular enough to not be considered what it is. A furry sex symbol. I mean, look at her. Focus. Anyway, she asked Oedipo her riddle, the one all of us know, but that I will tell anyway, as some of you might be time travelers from the pre-ancient Greek era. What goes on 4 feet in the morning, 2 feet at noon, and 3 feet in the evening? The answer is a person, because baby, adult and old people, you know. What you may not know is that in some versions there is another riddle. There are 2 sisters. One gives birth to the other, and she, in turn, gives birth to the first. Who are these 2 sisters? The answer was night and day, but it makes little sense as Hemera, goddess of light, is the daughter of Nyx, goddess of night. Though one of them birthed the other. I don't know. This is dumb. After this, I guess the Sphinx suffers some form of social anxiety, like when you press the doorbell of a house and when they answer you realize that that's not the right house, and you just die. And because of this, I figure, she threw herself off a cliff and died. Totally understandable, we all have been there. The people of Thebes were sad because of the passing of the king, and I don't know how did they know he was dead, because the servant was also dead, so he couldn't have retrieved the body. I don't know. And why were they sad? I mean, the Sphinx was there making everybody hostage because of Laio. Anyway, they made Oedipo the new king as a thank you. Of course this meant that he married his mother, and of course they did, And Hera was not happy yet, as she believed that Laio hadn't had paid for his crime, so she sent a plague that caused a food shortage. Why she didn't do this when he was alive, or why didn't she simply went to Tartarus to torture him, it's unclear, but we all know already that Greek gods are horrible people. Oedipo investigated why this was happening, and Tiresias, an all-blind clarivoyant, whose myth is really interesting, so I will dedicate a video to him, told Oedipo that he had killed his father and was lying with his mother. After hearing this news, Jocasta hung herself, and his son took a pin that was in her clothes and he gouged his eyes out. He might have died after this, or he might have been living for a little longer, but it's absolutely irrelevant if I'm being honest. So that's the mythological bit, but what about the complex? The term was coined by Freud himself. And if you have beef with him, you have beef with me. I have issues with people who hate psychoanalysis and more specifically Freud, but I will talk, you have guessed it, more on that on another video. Freud was the father of psychoanalysis and one of the first actual psychologists. He postulated that children went through a series of stages of development. The Oedipal complex emerges in the third one, when the child is between 3 and 6 years old, called the phallic stage, where the superego, or the social norms, appear in the child's mind, but also the exploration of their genitals, aka masturbation. This complex basically means that the child, and bear in mind, he only postulated this for boys. Girls have their separate complex. Well, that the child is sexually attracted by his mother and he hates his father. This is supposed to be because the child stops seeing their mother as their mother and starts seeing her as a woman. Obviously, the feelings are not reciprocated, so the child internally hates the father for this, as he sees he as an obstacle for their mother's love. But the superego, that social norm, starts developing in their minds, and it makes them repress their love and focus on admiring the father and wanting to become like him. I guess so they can find a partner like their mother, can't confirm this. If the child has trauma during this stage, such as his parents not being caring or being too up on him, the child cannot outgrow this stage, and they become those men who are too obsessed with their mothers to the point where it starts being creepy. You know those exist. So maybe Freud wasn't beating a dead horse. That took me so long to make. Sorry to have had this appear, but exams. And now shameless self-promo. I have started a TikTok account, sue me bitch, where I post videos blowing off steam and trying to be funny and successfully. If you want to go check that out, go check that out now. And also happy Pride Month. I know I haven't technically put any content out during Pride Month, but Pride Month is every month, so that's it. Anyway, like and subscribe for more horrible content, and I'll see you when I have the energy to make another video. Have a nice RNH. Bye!